Hey everyone, welcome to our deep dive on visual storytelling. We'll be focusing on key concepts and vocabulary, especially for those of you in principles of arts, audiovisual technology, and communications.
Yeah, it's going to be like a crash course in how visuals can tell powerful stories. Whether it's in movies, videos, even photography.
Exactly. And to really get this, we're going to look at a bunch of different sources. We've got Emily Teague's insights on editorial shoots, the Amplify Views breakdown of techniques, Brian Seeker's take on Wall-E, and more.
Yeah, lots to unpack, so ready to jump in.
Absolutely. Now, one of the first things you'll hear a lot about in visual storytelling is show, don't tell. It's like a golden rule.
Right, and it comes up in pretty much all of our sources. Basically, it means instead of just telling your audience something directly, you're using visuals, sounds, subtle cues to let them figure things out on their own.
It makes the audience feel more involved.
Yeah.
Like they're part of the story.
Exactly. A great example of this is Casey Neistat's video about those New York City bike lanes. The one from Amplify Views. He doesn't just say, hey, these are dangerous.
Oh, yeah. I remember that one.
He actually gets out there, rides his bike, and shows us the chaos firsthand. Close calls, near accidents, you name it. It's all right there on camera.
Makes you feel the danger right along with him. Way more powerful than just him talking about it. Now, switching gears a bit, let's talk about a framework that pops up in a ton of stories. The hero's journey.
Oh, yeah, that classic structure.
The Uber Brands video, which dives into Joseph Campbell's monomyth, really breaks it down well. You've probably seen this pattern in movies like Star Wars, The Hunger Games. It's everywhere.
So the hero's journey has these 12 distinct stages. It takes the hero from their normal world into this special world full of challenges and adventures.
Each stage is designed to really keep the audience hooked. I mean, think about the refusal of the call.
Oh yeah, where the hero's like, nope, not doing that.
Creates that tension, right? Are they going to step up or not?
And then there's the ordeal where everything's on the line. They have to face their fears, overcome these seemingly impossible obstacles. That's where you're really on the edge of your seat.
And of course, we can't forget the reward stage.
Yeah.
Like Luke Skywalker blowing up the Death Star, Katniss Everdeen winning the games. That sense of accomplishment and closure.
Exactly. The hero's journey is just a really powerful way to understand how stories are structured, how they tap into these universal human experiences.
Now, a good story also needs tension. Those moments that keep us guessing and wanting more.
Absolutely. And a key part of building that tension is understanding stakes. What's at risk for the characters?
Right. Amplify Views talks about this a lot. If a character has nothing to lose, why should we care? But if it's their life, their love, their dream on the line, suddenly we're invested.
Exactly. Think about Mr. Beast's videos, those crazy challenges with huge cash prizes. The stakes are so high, it keeps you glued to the screen.
But stakes don't always have to be life or death, right?
No, not at all. It can be about their reputation, relationships, even winning a game.
Yeah.
Think about the rivalry between iPhone and Android users.
Oh, yeah. People get really passionate about that.
Exactly. Those videos tap into those brand loyalties. The stakes become about more than just a phone. It's about, identity.
Makes sense. So how do we actually build that tension and keep the story moving forward?
Amplify Views has a great point about constantly giving the audience a reason to keep watching.
Yeah, I like how they put it. It's like building a bridge. Each step leads to the next, building momentum.
Right. Imagine you're telling a simple story about a trip to Argentina.
Okay.
You could just say, I woke up, packed my bags, went to the airport, arrived. But that's kind of boring, right?
Yeah, not exactly exciting.
But what if you added details that create that forward motion? I woke up at 6 a.m., heart pounding with excitement for my first trip abroad. I triple-checked my bag, making sure I had my passport and that guidebook I'd been devouring for weeks.
Ooh, now that's got me hooked. I want to know what happens next.
Exactly. You're showing the character's emotional state, adding specifics.
And this applies to visuals too, right? Like in that analysis of the life of Frieza video. The way they show the progression of her activities training, fighting it, keeps you engaged.
It's not just what you say, but how you show it. The visuals, the pacing, the editing, all matter.
So to really bring these stories to life, we've got 3 core elements to work with: words, visuals, and sound.
Like a symphony where each element plays a role.
Amplify Views does a good job of breaking this down. Words provide context, narration, dialogue. They set the scene, introduce characters, move the plot along.
Visuals are obviously key for showing us the world, the characters, their actions, emotions.
And sound adds another layer of immersion. Think about a powerful soundtrack, realistic sound effects. Even silence can be impactful.
Right. Like in a travel film, you might have stunning visuals of landscapes, the rhythmic chugging of a train, and a narrator's voice weaving it all together.
Or, in a Mr. Beast video, you see every step of the challenge, hear the sounds of construction, competition, and have his commentary adding humor and tension.
Finding that balance between these elements is what makes a story cohesive and engaging.
Now, talking about cohesive stories, photographer Emily Teague has a cool approach. In the Adorama video, she talks about starting with a mood board to capture the visual vibe for her shoots.
Oh, yeah, mood boards are super helpful for getting everyone on the same page. It's like a collage of images, colors, textures that represent the aesthetic you're going for.
Exactly. And she doesn't stop there. She creates a playlist to evoke the right feelings and even writes a word journey.
A word journey.
Yeah, like a mini script, but instead of full sentences, she uses these evocative words and phrases to capture the essence of the story, the character's emotions.
I like that, like setting the stage for the visual magic.
Right. And in her Gothic Cowboy Dream shoot, she even gave her models detailed backstories. Adds depth, makes it all feel more real.
But with all that detail, how do you avoid being too obvious? Spelling everything out for the audience.
That's where subtlety comes in. You want to spark curiosity, encourage them to think for themselves.
Like leaving clues in a mystery novel, right?
Exactly. Instead of showing a character explicitly feeling sad, maybe you show them staring out a rain-streaked window, shoulders slumped. Let the audience infer their emotional state.
Yeah. Or imagine a scene where two characters share a knowing glance. Hints at a hidden connection or a shared secret without saying a word.
Subtlety is all about trusting your audience to connect the dots. Makes the story more engaging, more memorable.
And don't forget, every detail matters. The lighting, the colors, how you frame a shot, even the lens you choose.
You're right. Adorama really emphasizes that. Those are all tools for shaping the story and influencing how the audience feels.
Lighting can create mood and atmosphere. A dimly lit scene feels mysterious, while bright, natural light can feel hopeful.
Color evokes emotions too. Warm colors like reds and oranges convey passion, anger. Cool colors like blues and greens can suggest calmness or sadness.
And framing can draw attention to certain details, create intimacy or distance. It's like you're a painter using all these elements to craft your masterpiece.
Speaking of masterpieces, let's talk about a concept that often comes up in visual storytelling. Ernest Hemingway's iceberg theory.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What's that?
The Amplify Views video explains it well. It suggests that a good story only reveals a small portion of its meaning, like the tip of an iceberg.
So there's this whole world of meaning and backstory that the audience has to figure out.
Exactly. Encourages them to think critically, engage on a deeper level. Plus, it makes for a more concise narrative, especially in today's world of short attention spans.
Makes sense.
Think about YouTubers like Mr. Beast, Joe Fazer, David Dobrik. They take hours of footage and cut it down to these tight, engaging videos. Anything that doesn't serve the story is gone.
Masters of the iceberg theory. They get that every second counts and show only what's essential to keep you hooked.
And to really see the iceberg theory in action, let's look at a film that tells a compelling story with very little dialogue.
WALL-E,
WALL-E, the little robot.
the one and only. Brian Seeker makes a great case for it as a masterclass in visual storytelling. Especially with so little dialogue, it relies on imagery, sound design, character animation to convey emotions, build a world, tell a story.
Right.
Remember that opening scene? We're introduced to WALL-E's desolate world, towering piles of trash, abandoned robots, and then there's WALL-E diligently collecting, sorting.
It's a powerful statement about the state of the world and WALL-E's resilience.
And then the contrast when he returns to his meticulously organized home with his collection of treasures shows his loneliness, his longing for connection, his love for beauty in a world that's lost it.
And when Eve arrives, their first interaction is all movement and expression. No words needed. The filmmakers use those visual cues to show the contrast between them and hint at their future journey. WALL-E really demonstrates the power of visuals.
It's a reminder that the most impactful stories can be told through what we see, not just what we hear.
Welcome back to our deep dive into visual storytelling.
We're picking up right where we left off with WALL-E and how it uses those visuals to tell such a powerful story.
And now let's think about how you can use those same principles in your own projects.
Right, even if you're not, making a Pixar film.
Exactly. So let's say you're making a video about your school's environmental club. Instead of just standing there and talking about recycling, how can you show the impact?
Ooh, good question.
You could start with a shot of an overflowing landfill. Then, cut to students collecting recyclables, And finally, show a beautiful park created with recycled materials.
Love it. Problem, solution, positive outcome, all shown visually.
And don't forget about sound. You could add those nature sounds, maybe mix in the clatter of recycling bins. Creates a more immersive experience.
Totally. You're hitting multiple senses, making that message stronger.
This brings up another important tool, storyboarding.
Oh, yeah, storyboards are essential.
It's like a visual roadmap for your project.
Hmm.
Helps you plan out your shots, your sequences, make sure everything flows smoothly, and tells a cohesive story.
Like a comic strip version of your video.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to be fancy. Even simple sketches can help you visualize your ideas.
Definitely. And remember those tools we talked about earlier, the mood board, the playlist, the word journey? Those can really help set the tone and feel.
For sure. A mood board helps define that visual aesthetic. The colors, textures, overall vibe. Like if you're making a video about a summer music festival, your mood board might have images of sunshine, crowds, musical instruments, people dancing.
Right. And your playlist would have that upbeat music, capturing the energy.
And your word journey might include words like joyful, energetic, vibrant, all about evoking those emotions.
It all comes together to create that cohesive visual story.
Now, how do we create tension? Keep those viewers on the edge of their seats.
Ooh, the good stuff. It's all about uncertainty, raising the stakes.
Think about a sports movie. Underdog team, down by 1 point, final seconds of the game.
The tension is killer.
The stakes are so high, win it all or lose everything, and we don't know what's going to happen.
Even in those cooking competitions, they use that ticking clock as the contestants are rushing to finish. Will they make it in time? Will the dish be a disaster?
Adds that urgency, right?
For sure. And tension doesn't always have to be big and dramatic. Sometimes subtle cues can be just as effective.
Oh, absolutely. Like in a horror movie, a character slowly opens a creaky door, knowing something might be lurking on the other side.
Ooh, yeah, that slow build-up, the sound effects, the character's fear. You just know something bad is about to happen.
But you can't look away.
Exactly. Well-crafted tension is so powerful.
But that tension needs to be released at some point, right?
Oh, definitely. Those moments of release are just as important. They provide contrast, let the audience catch their breath. It's like a roller coaster. You need those calm moments between the drops.
A good storyteller knows how to balance those ups and downs for a truly satisfying experience.
And speaking of emotions, music is a powerful way to evoke them.
Oh, for sure. Music can make us laugh, cry, dance. It can create a sense of awe.
In visual storytelling, it sets the mood, enhances the emotions, guides the audience's experience.
Think about those epic movie soundtracks that give you chills. Or that sad song in your favorite TV show that always makes you cry.
Music is so powerful.
So it's not just picking any random song, right?
No way. You need music that matches the tone, the emotions you're going for.
Don't be afraid to experiment with different genres, too.
Absolutely. A piece of classical music can elevate a dramatic scene, and a hip-hop beat can energize a fast-paced montage.
So many possibilities. And it's not just about background music either. Sound effects, dialogue, even silence all play a part.
It's like you're conducting an orchestra, bringing all these elements together to tell your story.
We've covered a lot in this part. We've talked about showing, not telling, storyboarding, mood boards, playlists, building tension and release, and using music effectively.
Whew, that's a lot.
But we're not done yet. Welcome back. Ready for the final part of our visual storytelling deep dive.
Let's do it. We've talked about so much already.
Yeah, we've covered storyboarding, music, those core elements. But now we're going to get into some advanced techniques that can really make your work stand out.
Okay, I'm all ears.
One of the things that separates a good story from a great one is pacing.
Pacing.
Yeah, it's all about controlling the speed, the rhythm of your story. It's like being a DJ for your visuals.
I like that analogy.
You wouldn't play a slow song at a party, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to match the energy to the mood. Same with video. You need to match the pacing to the emotions you want to create. So if you're making a video about a basketball game, you want the pre-game footage to be fast-paced to build that excitement.
Yeah.
Quick cuts, maybe some upbeat music.
Right, get the energy going.
Then, when you get to the actual game, you can slow things down a bit to highlight those key moments. The winning shot, the players' reactions, the crowd going wild.
You could even use slow motion for those epic plays.
Exactly. Slow motion's great for emphasizing those moments and letting the audience see those details they might miss at normal speed.
So different types of stories have different pacing, right?
Absolutely. Action movies tend to be fast-paced, while dramas might be slower, more deliberate.
Got it.
It's about matching the pace to the genre, the tone you're going for. And pacing isn't just about editing either. It's how you frame your shots, camera movement, even the actor's performances all play a part.
Oh, interesting.
A long, slow tracking shot can create calmness, but a handheld, shaky camera can make things feel urgent, even chaotic.
Right, right. It's like adding that extra layer of control to your storytelling.
Now, let's talk about something that can really bring depth and symbolism to your work. Visual metaphors.
Okay, I've heard of metaphors, but visual ones.
It's a way to communicate ideas and emotions through images. Make the audience see things in a new way. Instead of just showing a character feeling sad, you might show them sitting alone in a dark room, rain pouring outside.
I see. So the rain and darkness add to the feeling of sadness.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Creates a much stronger image. And visual metaphors don't always have to be literal. You can use abstract visuals like swirling colors or distorted images
Yeah.
to represent inner turmoil, confusion.
Like adding those hidden layers of meaning that make the audience think a little deeper.
Right. Visual metaphors are like little puzzles.
Yeah.
Makes it more engaging, more memorable.
Love it. What else?
Another powerful tool is point of view.
Point of view, like first person or third person?
Kind of, but more about whose perspective the story is being told from. It can totally change how we see the characters and what's happening. Like, imagine a mystery movie. If we see things through the detective's eyes, we get all the clues and deductions. But if we see it from the suspect's perspective, we might start to question everything.
That's a cool way to think about it.
Same events, totally different feeling, depending on whose eyes we're seeing it through.
You can create a lot of empathy and understanding that way.
Exactly. You could even show the same situation from multiple points of view. Helps the audience see things from different sides, adds nuance and complexity.
Right, makes it more realistic and relatable.
And remember, you, as the storyteller, have the power to shape how the audience sees the story. Choosing your point of view carefully makes for a more impactful experience.
Makes sense. Any other tips?
Our last tip, and it's a big one, don't be afraid to break the rules.
Break the rules, but we just learned all these rules.
I know, right? But sometimes the most creative and memorable moments come from doing something unexpected.
Like what?
It could be a sudden shift from color to black and white, using an out-of-focus shot. Those little things that surprise the audience make them pay attention.
So it's about taking risks, pushing those boundaries.
Exactly. What seems like a mistake to one person could be brilliant to another. Don't be afraid to experiment. Find your own voice, your own style.
I like that.
We've covered so much in this deep dive.
Mm-hmm.
Pacing, visual metaphors, point of view, even breaking the rules.
It's been amazing.
Remember, these are just tools. The most important thing is to use them creatively, tell stories that you're passionate about, go out there, create something amazing.
The world needs your stories.
Thanks for joining us on this visual storytelling journey. We hope you learned some new tricks, feel inspired to create your own captivating stories.
Keep learning, keep experimenting, and most importantly, have fun.